In our totally connected world, there's this really strange feeling a lot of us are starting to notice. It's that feeling of being constantly surrounded by people online, but somehow feeling deeply, deeply alone. Today, we're going to put a name to that feeling. It's called digital intimacy fatigue, and we're going to talk about how to actually move through it.
So let's just start with a quick check-in. Seriously, take a second and sit with this question. Think about your last 24 hours, all the notifications, the DMs, the quick little replies. After all of that, how did you really feel? Did you feel connected? Or was it something that felt a lot more like exhaustion? If that sense of emptiness sounds even a little familiar, you are definitely in the right place. So if that question hit home for you, I want you to know you are not the only one feeling this way. And the very first step in dealing with this is to just clearly identify the symptoms. We need to understand what this digital drain actually looks and feels like in our everyday lives.
Okay, so let's start with what it looks like on the surface. Your phone is constantly going off, right? It's buzzing, it's lighting up. It's just this endless stream of alerts, likes, comments, messages. From the outside, it looks like you are incredibly popular, totally in demand, and just deeply connected to everyone. But what happens when you look just beneath all that digital noise? Often, what you find is a kind of profound silence. There's this lack of conversations that have any real weight, or nuance, or vulnerability. And that's the big paradox, isn't it? We're in constant communication, but we're rarely, if ever, truly connecting. And all of this leads to a very, very specific kind of burnout. It's that fatigue that comes from the pressure to constantly perform. Having to have the perfect witty reply, the perfect filtered photo, the most engaged online personality. It's absolutely exhausting because you're never really allowed to just be. This whole experience, this collection of symptoms that we've been talking about, it actually has a name. And I can tell you from a therapeutic standpoint, giving a feeling a name is an incredibly powerful first step. It takes it from this vague, confusing cloud of anxiety and it turns it into something concrete, something we can actually understand and begin to work on. So let's get clear on what we're dealing with here. Digital intimacy fatigue. The best way to think of it is like a social burnout that's caused by the illusion of connection. It's the exhaustion that sets in from interacting with 100 different profiles, but without any of the substance of real, authentic human presence. This quote from the source material for today's session just nails it, doesn't it? The constant performance of connection online can lead to a profound sense of isolation offline. The very act of trying so hard to seem connected is exactly what leaves us feeling so incredibly alone when you finally put our phones down. So what's really at the root of all this fatigue? Well, to understand that, we have to look at the huge difference between performing a connection and actually being present with another human being. And trust me, they are not the same thing at all. Now this slide, this is so interesting because it lays out the conflict perfectly. On one side, you've got that digital performance. You're curating a perfect life, you feel this pressure to be available 24/7, and you're constantly seeking validation through likes. But then on the other side, you have the building blocks of true intimacy. Just being your authentic self, being intentionally present for someone, and sharing vulnerability in a safe, private space. You can see they are basically at war with each other. Here's a helpful way to think about it. All those likes and quick replies, they're like social junk food. They give you this quick little hit of validation. We can call them empty calories, but they don't actually nourish our deep fundamental need to belong. A truly present, authentic conversation, well, that's the nourishing meal our soul is actually starving for. So what's the antidote here? What do we do? Well, the goal isn't to just reject technology or delete every app on our phone. That's not realistic for most of us. The goal is to fundamentally change how we use these tools to connect with the people that matter. The goal is to start cultivating real presence. This right here, this is the crucial therapeutic shift that we're aiming for. It's about moving our whole value system away from being constantly available to absolutely everyone and moving it towards being intentionally and fully present for a few key people in the moments that actually count. It's a simple but powerful move from quantity to quality. All right, now for the most important part. What can we actually do about all this? I want you to think of these next steps as a kind of therapeutic prescription, a clear path forward that you can start on today to cultivate more presence in your life. Here are 4 concrete things you can start doing. Number 1, schedule connection blackouts. Just an hour a day where all the screens are off. 2, elevate a connection. Once a week, swap a long text chain for an actual phone call. Let yourself hear their voice. 3. Practice undistracted listening. When you're with someone, put your phone away, all the way away. Give them the gift of your complete attention. And finally, number 4, curate your connections. It is absolutely okay to focus your limited energy on the relationships that truly, truly feed your soul. Now, I know looking at a list like that can feel a little overwhelming, so I really want you to hear this. This is not about some stressful, radical overhaul of your entire life. It is about starting small. Just pick one of those things. Seriously, just one. And practice it this week. One small, intentional change can start to rewire your brain and your relationships for the better. So I'm going to leave you with this final thought. Think of it as a little bit of homework. Don't think about everybody in your life. Just think of one person. What is one relationship where you would like to practice being just a little more intentionally present this week? Start right there. That is how we begin to heal from this digital intimacy fatigue and reclaim the richness of real, genuine connection.